Have you ever had one of those days where everything just seems to go wrong? Well, let me tell you about the time a snowstorm literally followed me home. It all started on a seemingly normal Tuesday. I was visiting my parents, who live about 4 hours away. The weather forecast mentioned a chance of flurries, nothing major. So, I packed up my car, said my goodbyes, and hit the road around noon, thinking I'd be home well before dinner. The first hour was a breeze, just a light dusting of snow on the fields beside the highway. I was cruising, listening to my favorite podcast, Not a Care in the World. Then, things started to change. The light dusting turned into a steady fall. The sky went from a bright gray to a heavy, ominous white. Soon, I was in the middle of a full-blown blizzard. Visibility dropped to almost zero. Cars around me started slowing down to a crawl. I remember gripping the steering wheel, my knuckles white, heart pounding in my chest. Every set of taillights in front of me was a lifeline. The 4-hour drive quickly turned into 6, then 7. I was barely moving. Every so often, the line of cars would just stop for what felt like an eternity. I checked my phone, no signal. The fuel gauge was starting to dip lower than I was comfortable with. That's when the real panic started to set in. I was stuck, alone, in a metal box, with no way to contact anyone and the world outside turning into a wall of white. I tried to stay calm. I turned off the podcast to save my phone battery and just sat in the silence, listening to the wind howl and the snow hitting the windshield. It was surreal. You see these things in movies, but you never think it'll happen to you. I started thinking about all the what ifs. What if I run out of gas? What if I'm stuck here all night? The temperature was dropping fast. After what felt like a lifetime, probably another 2 hours, the traffic started to inch forward again. It turned out there had been a multi-car pileup a few miles ahead. Once we cleared that, the road was a little better, but the snow was relentless. It was like a personal snow cloud was hovering right over my car. By the time I actually pulled into my own city, it was almost midnight. The drive had taken nearly 12 hours. But here's the crazy part. As I turned onto my street, the snow just stopped. The sky cleared, and I could even see a few stars. My neighborhood had a light, peaceful blanket of snow, nothing like the chaos I had just driven through. It was as if the storm had escorted me all the way to my front door and then just vanished. I've never been so relieved to see my own house. I just sat in my car in the driveway for a good 10 minutes, shaking a little, but incredibly grateful. I walked inside, made the hottest cup of tea I've ever had, and just stared out the window at the calm, snowy street. It was a bizarre, terrifying, and humbling experience. It really puts things in